3 weeks before our wedding, my fiancée gave me a prenup she'd written herself, giving me nothing if we divorced. I calmly signed, then added an addendum stating the same rule applied if she left. 2 months later, she backed out of the marriage entirely. 3 weeks before my wedding, I thought I was finally closing the happiest chapter of my life. My fiancée, Emily, and I had been together for 4 years, and I was head over heels. The venue was booked, the invitations were out, and the tux was hanging in my closet. Out of nowhere, Emily sat me down at the kitchen table one night with a folder in her hands. She said, "It's nothing personal, just business. I need you to sign this before the wedding." I laughed at first, thinking it was something silly, maybe a checklist or a registry document, but it wasn't. It was a prenup. And not just any prenup. It was a one-sided contract that stripped me of everything if we ever divorced. Her assets stayed hers. My assets became shared, and anything I earned afterward was hers to claim. I remember my stomach sinking like I just swallowed a rock. I flipped through the pages, my hands trembling. Emily leaned on the counter, sipping her wine casually, as if she hadn't just nuked my trust in one move. The living room smelled faintly of vanilla candles, and the clock ticked louder than usual. The whole world felt too quiet, except for her saying, "It's just standard. Everyone in my family does it." I asked her why she'd waited until 3 weeks before the wedding. She shrugged and said, "Because if you really love me, you'll sign it without making it a big deal." That line cut deeper than the prenup itself. It wasn't about protection. It was a test, an ultimatum disguised as paperwork. The next day, her mom called me, pressuring me to do the right thing and sign. Apparently, Emily had already told her family I'd agreed. I felt cornered, manipulated, like the man they were marrying wasn't me but my bank account. I didn't yell, I didn't fight. I smiled, nodded, and told Emily I'd sign. That weekend, I sat with the lawyer she hired, pen in hand. I signed exactly where she asked me to, and then I calmly slid an extra page across the table, my addendum. It stated that if she ever left me, she forfeited everything too. No spousal support, no shared assets, nothing. Suddenly, her smug confidence drained from her face. Her lawyer cleared his throat and asked if she was comfortable with the clause. Emily's voice cracked when she said, This wasn't part of the plan." I leaned back and said, "Neither was being ambushed 3 weeks before our wedding." For the first time in years, she looked at me like she didn't recognize who I was. 2 days later, she called off the wedding. Her excuse? She wasn't sure anymore. But I knew the truth. She wanted a husband she could trap, not a partner she could trust. Guests were refunded, deposits lost, and I walked away lighter than I'd ever felt. A month later, a mutual friend told me Emily was still single, living with her parents, and furious that she'd wasted 4 years with me. I didn't feel wasted at all. I felt like I'd dodged a bullet moving at full speed. The lesson? Love doesn't come with contracts or ultimatums. If someone forces you to prove your loyalty with paperwork, maybe the loyalty was never real to begin with.